My name's Lloyd Ross, and welcome to another episode of Ask RPM. This is episode number 2. And Ask RPM is all about asking about property investing or property in that area. So today's question comes from Jonathan from Victoria. And Jonathan wants to know if he should be investing in a property that's brand new that someone else builds, or whether he should go and be an owner builder or someone who renovates. So renovate or buy brand new. Renovate or buy brand new. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So what do I think? Well, there's merits in renovating because people have made money doing that. And there are also merits in buying brand new. So where do you sit? Like, what is suitable for you? Because renovating is not for everyone, and buying brand new is not for everyone. You just have to work out what's the best option for you. Once you've worked out that option, then go down that path. So let's weigh it up. Let's look at buying secondhand to then renovate. So when you're doing that, what's going to probably happen is you're going to go and buy a property that's run down, and you're going to hopefully buy that for, depending on the competition in the marketplace, hopefully for a pretty reasonable price. Where a lot of people making mistakes is they go and buy those types of properties at auctions. And whenever you're buying a property at auction, you're actually bidding against people with an emotional attachment to that property. So my advice would be not to actually buy a property at auction, ever. It's much like buying shares that are going through an initial public offering. You don't have any pricing information at all, and you're betting competitively against someone else, and it sometimes gets emotional. And you should never buy based on emotion. So if you're going to buy something second, and try and buy something that's mortgagee in possession off the bank or off someone that needs to get out of it, and really go in and lowball the vendor with, you've got time on your hands probably, so go and lowball like 30 properties, go and look at all these second-hand properties, all these rundown ones, go and lowball them all, see if you can get it for a really good price. But you also have to make sure that your searches are done correctly. So things like asbestos searches and termites, so pest inspections and things like that, and sort of structural inspections too. If you're going to make renovations to the property, you want to have a full, third-party building inspection done. So there'll be a point in time when you actually put a deposit down for that property, and when you can do your due diligence, subject to finance. So you want to be doing all those searches and doing your due diligence properly, so that the house is exactly what you expected it to be. Provided that you do that, then the question is, should I renovate? And for me personally, no chance. There's no chance I would renovate. And the reason being is that, I don't have any skills in that area, so I'm not a tradesman. I don't have any friends really that are, I've got 1 or 2 friends that are tradesmen. I wouldn't know how to get cheap materials. I wouldn't even know where to start with plans. I know a little bit about architecture and the building codes. I don't know a lot of builders. But it's just not something that I don't work well with my hands. So I also feel it's a huge opportunity cost. Do I want to put the time into that over something else? So if I'm a business owner, which I am, I prefer to put my time into my business where I get a higher return on my investment than I would if I put the time into a property refurbishing it. So my time's better spent doing something else. So weigh up, is your time better spent doing something where you can make a higher return on investment? Go do that. If not, go and renovate a house. So if you're a tradesman, or you know a lot of tradesmen, or you've got some sort of affiliation with the industry, then perhaps you should be a renovator. If you are, remember that the time it takes to do that is all in your spare time, weekends and nights, and you have to actually live in a house for probably 12 months that is actually a construction site. So if you're happy to do that, then go and do it. But it's a very big project. It's planning, it's doing the designs, the drawings, then having the labour work. If you have to outsource to labour, making sure you're getting 3 quotes at once to get the lowest price. Being a project manager is what you are. And so if you're happy to be the project manager on something and go to work, and so sleep 4 hours a night for a year, go for it. And there's people that can make money out of that because the value you add in construction materials and aesthetics will actually be, the value of the property will be more than the actual work that's been done on the property, materials and labour. But I've seen it so many times where people buy a house, they put a fence up, they put a pool in, they put this on the roof, they get that, they do rid of the kitchen, and they spend $200,000 on the property, and they've bought it for $600, and they sell it for $800. So they put all that work into it, all that time, and have actually not had any value gain from that property. So really make sure that A, you're buying it for a really low price, B, you've got like a competitive advantage, like you have tools and you have know-how and you have time, and you have a competitive advantage there. Then make sure that you can sell it in a market that's going to dictate a higher value than what you spent on it. Minus commissions to the agent, of course, in these things. So I don't do a lot of that because I don't feel that I get a huge value out of that. There's a huge investment, and even if I made 50,000 minus some other things and time, I just don't think it's worthwhile. Looking at the other side, is it then, if you're not going to do that, is it best to go and get someone else to build your property for you? I believe it is, especially if you can make more of a return on your time investment doing your job, running your business, doing those things. And it's like outsourcing it, right? So you want to outsource to a builder, but again, you want to make sure that it's a reasonable price, the property values well, that the block of land is in the correct location and things like that. There's nothing wrong with either model, it's just what suits the person who's doing it. Make no mistake, doing a renovation is a massive undertaking, whereas when you outsource it to a builder, they're the ones that have to worry about the warranties and all the shifts in the structure as it settles, and they can source the products or the materials at a really good price with their supply discounts, and it's just the worry factor's gone. So even if you pay a little bit extra just to have a builder build it for you, the money you make from doing something else at the time will far outweigh the extra you might pay someone else. So I'm a really big advocate in actually outsourcing to other people, things that I'm not good at. So if you're not good at this, the building thing, outsource. If you're really great at that and you're a tradesman, you should be doing your own renovations. So I hope that's cleared a few things up. I can't think of anything else that I'll probably talk about there. So yeah, it's a personal preference. So I hope that helps.